Hi, thank you for watching my video channel, and today's video is going to be replacing the brake calipers on a 1999 Infiniti QX4. I'm on my way back from the auto parts store right now. I was in the middle of a brake pad replacement on the vehicle when I noticed the seals on the inside where the pistons are for the caliper were seeping fluid. So if you watch and keep up with my videos, you'll see a couple of videos regarding the brakes on this particular vehicle, and it all started with a brake light from my daughter saying she had a brake light. I inspected it, concluded that we needed brake pads. In the middle of the brake pad job, and on the driver's side, I noticed the seals were leaking, so I'm like, time to stop the job, let's do this caliper replacement. So that's why we're here today. Forces me to go to the auto parts store instead of purchasing online, which necessarily is not a bad thing. AutoZone seems to be pretty good, and they have some decent warranties. They had both my caliper assemblies in stock. I'm doing both sides, driver's side and passenger side, and they had the complete assemblies, the brackets, the calipers, all the hardware and everything, and it was like $77 per side, where just a caliper was like $68. So they had them in stock. I got the complete assemblies. There is a $25 core charge, which means I paid an extra $50 total until I bring the old ones back, and then I'll get $50 credited back to my credit card. They also had a nice little deal going on where you got a can of brake fluid, a bottle of .3 brake fluid, and some brake lubricant, all for $5. So since I was buying brake fluid anyways, and I was paying a little over $4 for that, I went ahead and got their deal. So let's get started. Okay, as you can see, my caliper, I was in the middle of a brake job, had my brakes all prepared, brake pads were in place, ready to put my caliper in. I had compressed my pistons on the caliper, and you can see the moisture. The moisture is an indication that the fluid is leaking through the seals. So that's what prompted me to go to the auto parts store to get the new caliper. The new calipers came with the complete assembly, bracket, caliper, fitting, all hardware and everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this bracket off, and then I will hook the brake line up to the new caliper assembly, and then I will place my brakes into this assembly and then fit it up. Okay, first things first, these calipers, the brackets are held in by 2 bolts, so you want to use your 22mm wrench. If you don't have a 22mm, a 7/8 inch wrench will work. All right, so these suckers are going to be tight. So what I'm using is my little mini sledge. So make sure you're using the closed end portion of your wrench. The closed end portion of your wrench, that way it does not slip. And just give it a little nudge with the hammer just to break it free. First one's off. Second one. Hold on. Second one's off. There we go. Now, time to put that on. All right, looks like it's a 12mm to take off the OEM fitting. All right, so I broke it free. So here's the situation. Because I'm by myself and I need both my hands, when you take this fitting off, it's going to drip brake fluid. So to minimize the amount of brake fluid you get all over the place and all over stuff and all over your hands and stuff, get everything laid out so it's nice and easily prepared. So make sure that one of your brass seals, don't make them both stick together, but only one goes on one end and the other one goes on the other end of the fitting. So get it all in position, ready to go, so that you can do a switcheroo. Okay, got it off. So now I'm going to take this and just kind of put it off to the side. Now I'm going to put the new one in place. New one is kind of balanced in place. Now I'm going to put the line. So I started threading the line, so make sure that you finger thread this. You don't want to cross thread this, so just make sure you be patient. Just be patient. Notice brass, brass fitting brass. Okay, so the new caliper came with an 11 millimeter. You need an 11 millimeter to tighten it up. This was the Duralast brand. All right, so I flipped it over. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put the clips and the pads in. I've already put the clips into place. And now I'm gonna put the pads in. Okay, my pads are into place. As you can see, I put the silicone lubricant on the back sides of the pads. The front side that makes contact with the rotor, you leave dry. And also put a little bit of silicone lubricant into these moving pieces, slots right here, because the pads over time will move inward. I used the brake cleaner to clean the rotor surfaces from when the brake fluid was dripping down when I was changing the fitting. So I used the brake cleaner to clean the surfaces. Give it time to dry before you put the caliper back into place, or before you use the vehicle. Brake cleaner typically dries pretty quickly, so give it a few minutes. Next, you want to just go ahead and slide this into place, and then put those two bolts that you moved earlier back into place. All right, caliper, bracket, brake pads, all hardware into place. Bleeder screw is tight. The back brake fitting is tight. Need to tighten the bolts that hold that bracket assembly down. Those remember those 22 millimeter wrench that we used to tighten those down, and yeah, move on to the other side of the vehicle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to package this back up. All right, so I packaged the old assembly, bracket, and caliper back into the box so that I can return to the store for my core refund of $25 per box. Next step, since this is a brand new caliper, I had to break free the brake line and put the new brake, reconnect the brake line to the new caliper. We've introduced some air into the system from this point moving forward. And so I'm going to recruit the help of my helper. And he's going to get inside the vehicle, and he's going to press down on the brakes, not aggressively, but he's going to push down all the way down. And what I'll do is, as he's pushing down, I'm going to I'll just loosen this fitting, and a bunch of air bubbles will squirt out along with fluid, and then I'll tighten it, and then he's going to release the brake pedal. He's going to push down again. All right, so he's pushing down on the brake pedal, and I'm telling him to hold down on the brake pedal. So I'm going to loosen up this with an 11 millimeter wrench. And I'm going to loosen it. And I heard air come out, so now I'm going to tighten it. Did your pedal go down?
It's still down.
Okay, now release it. Push down again, real hard, okay?
Okay.
All right. Still nothing, a little bit of fluid. Okay, release it. Now push down real hard. Just hold it down. Oh yeah, nice, no air. And I got some paper towels down here to capture it, and we're gonna do it one last time. All right, so at this point, everything is secured. All right, one more time. Release it and then push it down. Okay. All right, release it. I want to make sure this fitting is not leaking. Go ahead and push down. Okay, good. Okay, that's it. I went ahead and tightened down the bracket. The whole assembly is replaced. Brakes have been bled. If it's only one side that you're doing, your job is complete, and go ahead and put your wheel back on. In my case, I'm going to do the other side. So thank you for watching my video, and I hope you enjoyed. Please press like, and if you like watching my videos, please press share. Thank you. Or what is it? Share that you push, or what? Subscribe. That's what you push. Subscribe. Okay, both my calipers, brake pads, and everything have been replaced. I did bleed the brakes, and I did lose a little bit of fluid, both in the old calipers as well as when I was bleeding the brakes. So I'm going to top off my brake fluid reservoir to where it says max. Brand new bottle, sealed, of brake fluid, .3. which is what this calls for. Okay, right at the max. Put the cap back on, pick up all your tools, unblock the vehicle, put it back down on the ground after your wheels are on and your wheel lugs are tight, and then take it for a spin. If you feel that your brake pedal is spongy at all, you need to get in there and bleed your brakes, because that is a symptom that you still have air in your brakes.